friends, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're doing well. Welcome to another video and welcome to the Romcom Swoonathon announcement video. Before we get into all of that, I would just like to apologize in advance for the way that I sound. I am under the weather and there's just no way to avoid that. I have to get this video out, so I hope it's not too annoying. I very much apologize. I apologize for the sniffles in advance. I will try to edit it out as much as possible, but without further ado, let's talk about what this video is supposed to be about. So Romcom Swoonathon is a readathon that the Swoony Readers is hosting for the month of February. As the title suggests, Romcom Swoonathon is centered around rom-coms and the movie and book form and reading books that fit the tropes of some of our favorite rom-coms. Let's dial it back a little bit if you don't know anything about the Swoony Readers. We are a romance book club hosted by myself, Dana over at Dana Ella, Niki from Niki's Bookish Coven, and Karina from She Dreams in Words. I will leave all of my co-hosts down in the description box below. Please go check them out, show them some love. I will link the announcement videos down below as well for my other co-hosts, as well as Karina's Instagram so you can see her announcement, as well as the Swoony Readers Instagram so you can see all of the information about the readathon, as well as any important information about dates and time changes, anything like that. And then of course follow us for the book club as a whole and just some fun interactive posts and fun stories and all that fun jazz. So in December, the Swoony Readers hosted a weekend-long event that we just had so much fun with, so we thought it would be perfect to host a readathon about romance in the month of love. I am so excited for this readathon and there are so many fun things to share with you, so without further ado, let's talk about the important dates and times, all the things you'll need to know in order to participate, and then we'll talk about my favorite thing, the bingo board. So the readathon will start from February 1st and end on February 29th. We'll be having live reading sprints every Friday at 4:30 PST and 7:30 EST. We will also be having a movie night every single Sunday at 12 p.m. PST and 3 p.m. EST. We will be hosting a 24 and 48 hour readathon within the readathon starting on Friday, February 23rd, ending on Sunday, February 25th. Hi guys, editing Kaylani popping in. I don't know how I forgot to mention the live show date for Real, the book club pick for February. That is going to be on Sunday the 25th at 10:30 PST and 1:30 EST. Sorry, I just thought I would mention it, but again, everything is linked below. And then of course, we have a bingo board, and every bingo that you get enters you into a giveaway, and we will pick a giveaway winner at the end of the month once all of the bingos have been tallied. Per usual, there is a Google Doc link down below that will include all of this information, so you don't have to come back and rewatch unless you want to. It will have all of the dates, the times, the movies that we will be watching, as well as the bingo boards, so that you can see them in all of their glory, but also a link so that you can go out and print them if you would like, or save them to your phone or whatever device you're using to track your bingos. All of it will be linked below, and if you have any further questions, feel free to ask us in the comments. I just want to run through our movie picks. Please keep in mind these are subject to change just because Netflix is constantly taking things off of their platform, but the movies that we're currently setting up to watch, we're going to be watching Burlesque on the 4th, A Tourist Guide to Love on the 11th, 13 Going on 30 on the 18th, and My Best Friend's Wedding on the 25th. All of that will be hosted over on Scener. I will leave the link down below to go and set up your account and install the Chrome extension if you want to get set up beforehand, but of course we will always announce the times on our Instagram, so you'll have plenty of time to join us if you would like for the movie nights. Other than that, nothing is really left to talk about other than my favorite thing ever to talk about, and that is of course the bingo board. You guys know I'm a huge bingo board fan, and the girls did such a great job putting all of this together. Dana literally killed it with the itinerary, and Niki and Karina went above and beyond with the templates that are available to you guys. So thank you so much to you girls for putting your hard freaking work into this, your blood, sweat, and tears. They look amazing, and I'm excited to share the bingo board with you. So there's a lot of templates that you can use to track your bingos, as well as the movies that we have chosen to pull our prompts from. I'm going to be putting up the main bingo board to talk about the prompts and give you some recommendations for each slot. But like I said, there are plenty of templates down below. I will post a few of them on the screen while I talk, just so you can get an idea of the access that you will have, but of course all of those are in the link down below in the description. Okay, that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the bingo board. I will pop it up on the screen. Again, Karina knocked this one out of the park. I put up the one that has the actual rom-coms included in it, as well as the group book for the month of February for the Swoony Readers, which is Real by Kennedy Ryan. We included that into one of our rom-coms just for a way to pay ode to, of course, our book club, and to give you guys an extra motivation to pick up the group book and read along with us. So as you can see, the bingo board is going to start off with one of my favorite rom-coms, and that is You've Got Mail. And for our first prompt, that is a workplace romance. Now, I would like to preface this by saying that you can not only just read strictly romance, you could read fantasy romance, you could read sci-fi romance, you could read a fantasy if that is what you choose to read, and if it works for the prompt, go ahead and use it. We don't want to limit your reading, but as a romance-centric book club, this is mostly going to have recommendations for romances in them, but feel free to stretch the prompts for however you see fit. You can also double up, triple up, quadruple up on prompts in order to hit those bingos. Editing Kaylani again. I'm sick, so I had a hard time filming this video, but I just wanted to make a note that you can hit bingo in several different ways. So you can hit 4 corners, you can hit diagonal, you can hit horizontal and vertical bingos. So all of those options for winning a bingo totally work. Also, if you black out the board, then all of those bingos count as well. So yeah, I just wanted to make sure I said that because I don't think I mentioned it at all during this video. So sorry. So I didn't think of it until right now when talking about fantasy romance, but I'm going to add an extra book in here for a recommendation for workplace romance. But my 2 that I had originally thought of were Real by Kennedy Ryan. This romance does take place on the set of a movie, so I definitely feel like that fits for the workplace romance prompt. You also have something like Not So Meant to Be by Megan Quinn. These 2 main characters do work together, and you meet them in the first book in the series, but they can be read as interconnected standalones. And then the fantasy romance book that I was thinking of is The Undertaking of Heart and Mercy by Megan Bannon. They don't work in the same place, but they meet because they have to work together with their 2 different jobs. So I feel like this definitely fits the bill, and if you're looking for a fantasy romance, if you don't want to pick up a strictly romance book, this definitely can fit for the prompt. Our next prompt is representing the group book Real, and that is to read a book with a grumpy sunshine trope. Oh, one of my favorite tropes of all time. It is so overdone. If you think about it, it is overly saturated in the market, but is one that I truly love, so please give me all of the grumpy sunshines that you can make. My recommendations for this is one of my favorites, which is Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I feel like that is a perfect, wonderful, absolutely swoony grumpy sunshine romance that I feel like everybody should read. And then a shout out to our previous Swoony Readers book club pick. I have to shout out The Right Move by Liz Tomford. This is a incredible grumpy sunshine romance with fake dating as well as a billionaire romance, so if you're looking to double up and triple up on prompts, this is definitely a good one if you haven't already read it. The next rom-com that is being represented on our bingo board is To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. If you would like to fulfill this prompt with the book itself that inspired the movie, you could of course read To All the Boys I Loved Before. But my recommendation for the young adult prompt is going to be Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert, a fantastic YA romance that I had so much fun with. It is her first romance that is in the YA category, and I felt like she did it so well. So if you're looking for one to pick up, this is definitely one I would recommend. And if you're looking for a fanro YA romance, I would definitely recommend Powerless by Lauren Roberts. It is YA and it does have romance at the center of it, and I think it's a fantastic book for this prompt. We did decide to also put some non-reading prompts on to the bingo board just because we know that not every single day is filled with reading and not every single prompt can get filled. I know for a lot of you guys are going to try to black out this board because you guys are overachievers, and I love that for you, but we wanted to make it just a little bit easier to fulfill those prompts. So for the first prompt representing this rom-com, Sweet Home Alabama, we have Let Loose. And this is just to let loose, relax, self-care day, however you want to interpret that, whatever your term of letting loose is, will fulfill this prompt. And for the last prompt on the top row, that is our last rom-com represented on this bingo board, and that is When Harry Met Sally. And for that, it's really simple, and that is to read a book with a meet-cute. I did mention the second book in this series, but one of my recommendations for meet-cute is a book called A Not So Meet-Cute by Megan Quinn, the first book in the Kane Brothers series. It's definitely a quirky, fun read. It also has some fake dating aspects to it, so definitely a good one. Then we have Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I think this one falls under the category of a book with a meet-cute. You can fight me on this one, but I think it definitely counts, and it's one of my favorites, so I'm trying to get everybody that I can to read it. Moving on to the second row, we have another prompt for Real, the group book by Kennedy Ryan, and that is to read a book with disability rep. Obviously, you could read Real in order to fill the prompt, but if you wanted to pick something different, I definitely have some recommendations for you. The 2 books that I chose, I really love. The first one being Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. I felt like I couldn't recommend one without the other, and I love Yours Truly. It's such a great book, and it does have some incredible mental health and anxiety representation, so a wonderful book to read. Also, there is a character in the book that has kidney failure, so definitely another thing that is represented in this book, but definitely a good one. And if you haven't already read this book, oh my god, please do it. Then I felt like I had to do a throwback romance that I read so long ago, but is still a staple, one that I absolutely love, and that is another Talia Hibbert book with Get a Life, Chloe Brown. The main character of this book does have a chronic illness, so definitely one that fits the prompt and is a fantastic, spicy romance read. For our second prompt for When Harry Met Sally, we are doing a friends to lovers romance. I love a good friends to lovers lovers romance. There's something so sweet and wholesome about them, and I definitely have a few recommendations that I want to share. The first one I feel like is my favorite friends to lovers, and every time this prompt comes up, it is the one that I recommend because it hits so different, and that is Love Light Farms by BK Borison. It is, yes, out of season, but it's such a fantastic romance that I cannot help but recommend it. It is hands down the best friends to lovers I've ever read. It's so sweet, it's so swoony, and I literally want everybody to read this book. Another friends to lovers that I really love is Crazy Stupid Romance by Alyssa K. Adams. This is the third book in the Romance Book Club series, but they can be read as interconnected standalones, and this is a fantastic friends to lovers romance. Our next prompt for Sweet Home Alabama is Found Family. My first recommendation for this prompt is going to be Wolf Song by TJ Klune, one of my favorite found family fantasy romance books that I have ever read. It is about gay werewolves. That's all you need to know going into the book. Trust me, it is fantastic. It is so well written. It is so absolutely heart-wrenching, but also such a fantastic series that has a great found family aspect at the center. Then I feel like this series as a whole definitely has found family aspects, and that is the Off-Campus series by Elle Kennedy. I feel like, especially as you get into the later books, this series has this exceptional found family aspect because all of these characters have come together to create this chosen family that they love each other through thick and thin and help each other through any and everything, and I feel like this is the perfect representation of a found family series. The first book still has those themes if you have not started the series yet, but if you were even further in, I think that's even better. The next prompt is for You Got Mail, and of course it is to read a book with mixed media, and I feel like this is the perfect prompt to put in a quintessential sci-fi that everybody loves and knows, but if you haven't picked it up already, it is a great one, and it does have some romance in it, and that is Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is the epitome of mixed media. It is one of those books that feels so incredibly well done and well thought out, and has all of these different mixed media aspects. You have emails, you have documents, you have transcripts, you have like audio clips. It's incredible. If you have not read it, please pick it up on audiobook because it is a full cast, and if you don't listen to audiobooks, I promise this is one that you're going to want to make an exception for. It's so good, and it does have a romance at the center. And the next book I want to recommend for this prompt is The Wrong Heart by Jennifer Hartman. It is a very dark romance, so please check the trigger warnings before going into this one, but these two characters do swap emails and have like a mistaken identity, secret identity type of romance. Definitely a really good one, but again, please check those triggers. And our second non-reading prompt is to write a letter, and this is of course for To All the Boys I Loved Before. If you guys haven't read the book or know anything about this series, it does have a big letter writing component, and this is just to write a letter to yourself, to your future self, or to your now self, or a letter that you want to write in the moment to get it off your chest. It could be literally anything, but I think writing something to yourself, whether it's past, present, or future, is a great form of self-care that can really be beneficial for getting some thoughts that you have in your head out on paper and out of your mental space. Moving on to the third row, our next prompt is for Sweet Home Alabama, and that is to read a second chance romance. My two recommendations for second chance romance is Whispers of You by Catherine Cowles. This is a fantastic second chance romance that I fell in love with last year and ended up on my favorites of the year list. If you have not picked up Catherine Cowles already, you should definitely pick this one up. It's a first in a series, so you don't have to read any other books, and it's a fantastic second chance, small town, romantic suspense romance. And if you're looking for a good wide shoes that has some second chance romance aspects to it, I would pick up Poison Roses by Jamin Eve and Tate James, a fantastic rock star romance, and again, it fits for some other prompts, so it's definitely a good one to try to double up or triple up on. Laura Jean is back, and that is to read a book with fake dating. I love this trope. It's another one of those tropes that can do no wrong in my eyes. I feel a little bit weird recommending this book because it is the last book in a series, but they are interconnected standalones, and it does have a fake dating aspect, and that is Hopeless by Elsie Silver, the last and final book in the Chestnut Spring series. I love this book so freaking much, and if you need any extra motivation to get to the end of the series, this is your chance to do it. It is such a good ending to a series, and it does have some really beautiful fake dating aspects to it. I love this book so much, and I cannot stop recommending it. And then we have That Kind of Guy by Stephanie Archer. This is a fake dating to fake engagement to fake marriage romance. It's so good, so angsty, and definitely has some really interesting plot points to it. It's one that you should definitely read, and it's a fantastic small town romance as well. And then we have our free space, so let's skip right along past that one. For When Harry Met Sally, we have the spicy prompt, and this is a favorite prompt of mine for sure. The first book that I'm going to recommend is Surrender, and that is by Rosie Adams. This is a novella, and it's so good. It is spicy, it is sexy, it is fun, it's fast-paced, and it's definitely a book that I read and was convinced that I needed to read more by this author, and everything that I picked up by her has been incredible. So if you're looking for a spicy novella, this is definitely a good one. My next recommendation for spicy is going to be Praise by Sarah Kate, the first book in the Salacious Players Club series. This is definitely spicy. It takes place at a BDSM sex club, and it is so fun. It's also age gap and ex-boyfriend's father romance, so definitely a spicy time. Our next prompt for You Got Mail is Enemies to Lovers, another prompt that I love so much. And my two recommendations for this is Hate by Tate James, the first book in the Madison Kate series, and Losers by Harley LaRoe. They are both wide shoes romances that have some Definite trigger warning, so check them before jumping in, but they are both so good. Second to last row on the board is starting off with a non-reading prompt, and that is to order takeout. I love this prompt because I need every excuse to treat myself because I don't cook. And my husband could use a break, honestly. So to order takeout, whatever that means to you, that could be Starbucks, that could be, you know, going and actually ordering it to go and coming home and just going to get food. That could be anything, pizza, whatever you want. Interpret it whatever you want, but it's another non-reading prompt. For Sweet Home Alabama, our next prompt is billionaire romance. I love a good billionaire romance. My first recommendation is going to be The Kingmaker by Kennedy Ryan. This is a billionaire romance. It takes a little bit to get to the billionaire part, but it's definitely a billionaire romance, and if you're looking for another Kennedy Ryan recommendation, this is definitely one I have for you. And then I want to talk about Twisted Lies by Anna Huang, the last book in the Twisted series, but again, they can be read as interconnected standalones. Christian is definitely a billionaire, and he is real sexy. If you're also looking for another book that has fake dating, this is definitely one that you can double up on. For You Got Mail, we have a bookish book, and I love these. I love these so much. They bring me joy. My first recommendation is going to be throwing it back to the first book in this series, and that is The Romance Book Club by Alyssa K. Adams. This book follows men who read romance books in order to understand their partners better. So good. And then we have Written by Catherine Moon. This is a book that follows a librarian. So definitely a bookish setting, and it's also a why choose romance. Our second to last prompt for To All the Boys I Loved Before is school setting, and for this I chose The Heir by Sophie Lark. This takes place at a school for mafia people. I never know how to say that. It's a school where people go to learn how to be a part of the mafia, and it definitely works for a school setting. And then we have Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. This takes place at a war school. Definitely fits the bill if you're looking for a fantasy romance. Our last prompt on the second to last row is for real, and that is to read a book that features a celebrity. First one that I want to recommend is The Words by Ashley Jade. This follows a rock star and a second chance romance with a girl from his past. And then we have The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. The main male character is a NFL player. Moving on to the very last line on the bingo board, we have our last prompt for To All the Boys I Loved Before, and that is to read a book with a love triangle. The two that I'm going to recommend are actually YA fantasies. The first one being Clockwork Prince by Cassandra Clare. I think that's the first book in this series. Clockwork Angel? I don't know. The first book in the series will be up on the screen for you, and that definitely fits for the love triangle prompt. And the second one that I want to recommend is Legendborn by Tracy Dion, one of my favorite YA fantasies, and definitely fits the prompt. Then we have our last non-reading prompt for You Got Mail, and that is to treat yourself. Now, that could mean, if you are on a book buying ban, that could mean like going to the library, that can mean picking up a book off of somebody else's shelf, that can mean even like going to a free little library and not spending money on a book. But you could also, of course, go to a bookstore, go to Amazon, whatever you want to do to add a book to your shelf and treat yourself. Then our last prompt for When Harry Met Sally, we have Time Span, and these are one of my favorite romances now. I don't know what has changed in the last year, but time span romances really are doing it for me. So the first one that we have is Rewrite Our Story by Kat Singleton, such a fantastic second chance romance that definitely spans over some time. And then of course we have Grit by Kennedy Ryan. You really thought I wasn't going to recommend my favorite Kennedy Ryan series of all time? I think not. This definitely has a time span aspect to it, and it's so good. I love this series so much, and I will never stop recommending it. You can't make me. Our second to last prompt is for real, and that is to read an age gap romance. For this, I chose Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. This is the quintessential classic ex-boyfriend's dad romance, and it's definitely a good one. And then I'm going to recommend another Mariana Zapata, and for that I'm going to choose Colty. This does take place like on the soccer field with the person that plays soccer and her coach. And the last prompt on the board is for Sweet Home Alabama, and that is Small Town, to read a book that features a small town. For my two recommendations, I chose Indigo Ridge by Daphne Perry. I love the Small Town series so much, and it definitely fits the bill. And then my last one is going to be The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker, such a good small town romance. That one also fits the bill for Grumpy Sunshine if you need another reason to double up. Alright friends, that is everything. Like I said, there will be a giveaway at the end of the readathon, so any bingos that you get will enter you in as a giveaway entry, so make sure that you mark off those bingos, send them to us over at the Swoony Readers on Instagram. The Instagram link will be linked down below, as well as the links to all of my co-hosts' information. Make sure to go check them out and show them some love. Let us know what you think of this readathon, and if you have any recommendations for another one in the future. We love planning these ones for you guys, and we just have so much fun hanging out together as besties along with all of you guys, and just getting to talk wonderful rom-coms and romance with you. If you have any questions about the readathon that was not addressed in this video, please feel free to leave it down in the comments below. We'd be more than happy to help you, but also make sure to go and check out that Google Doc that will have all the information that you need. If you made it to the end of the video and you don't know anything else to comment, leave a pink heart emoji. But that is the end of this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and of course leave any comments, questions, and suggestions in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Baby, turn it down like a sweet and ready.